Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. All right, so many of you have asked to see a little tour of our property, and I will do a house tour as well soon. But yeah, we are living under a little less than 3 acres here in Southern California, which we never thought we would be able to get, to be completely honest, with housing prices out here. But we really lucked out with this spot. We got a great deal, and now we're just having fun growing lots of goodies and farming and enjoying our time with our family. So I'm gonna give you guys a little tour of our property. So we've lived here for 1 whole year now, and when we first moved in, we experimented with a few different plants. Hey, get out of there, you guys. One of them was lavender, which did pretty well. It starts to die during the summer, but it does really well in the spring, and it looks really beautiful. So we actually began to grow more of it, and then it tripled and quadrupled, and it's been doing pretty well. So my husband irrigated it here, and we're gonna continue to grow even more lavender in this area because it seems to thrive the best out of some of the options that we've tried. So we're really excited about it. Plus it's really nice to pick for DIY or for around the house, and it smells really nice. Come here, Ozzy. Come on. All right, we also have a good amount of rosemary. We have a huge rosemary bush, which we use for recipes. We use for, well, I use for DIYs, infused oils. If you are beginning in gardening and you want to try out an herb that thrives and does really well, rosemary is one that does really well and tends to do really well in most environments. And it just quadruples and gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So anyway, we are big fans of rosemary and we have lots of it. Okay, so this garden bed was built in one of my DIY videos probably 6 months ago. We started prepping soil and growing in here pretty much right away. And one of the things we started growing was spaghetti squash, which at first wasn't doing so well, but then we did a little research on pollinating and we pollinated it, and now we have our first spaghetti squash. So it's really cool to see what actually works and what doesn't work. But oh, we have another little one coming in there. So that's what we have here. This is the front of our property, and we are gonna have more garden beds here in the future. We have a few other things we're growing in the front as well, but we have a good amount of space here. So we have a few things growing, and this is what we have growing in the garden bed. So this is really fun. We have a few eucalyptus trees on the property. Some of them are fragrant, there's different varieties, but this one we were trimming at first, and then my husband decided he wanted to stop trimming it because he realized it was really beautiful smelling eucalyptus. It actually smells fabulous, and I use this for different arrangements. I use it for DIYs, and actually if you go to Trader Joe's or some grocery stores, they actually sell this. So we're really excited that we have this, and I use it all the time, and it smells absolutely divine. So along our gate, we decided to plant some potato vine. It's a very relatively easy to care for evergreen, and it wraps its tendrils around the gate. So we wanted to do this for a little bit more privacy. It's a little harder to care for in the summer. It just starts to wilt a little bit, but in the spring it's really beautiful, and it produces these stunning flowers, these beautiful little white variety. It's like a jasmine variety. But this tends to grow alongside tomatoes usually, and it's called a potato vine. So anyway, my husband wrapped the bottom of this because the bunnies, the little rabbits, do like to munch on it. But it's growing pretty well. It's doing really well, and if we continue to grow it, it'll be a nice little privacy to kind of cover our fence a little bit so people can't see in as easy. All right, so we actually have 2 portions of our property. We have an inner portion is like our backyard, and then we have the outer portion of our property, and everything is gated, but so we let our dogs kind of roam around the entire property. But in terms of our kids, it's nice to have an inner portion of the backyard. This is the outer portion of our property. We have a nice big mountain here. We have a trench for rainy season so that we don't get flooding. And we've actually just started to clear out for the summer. In the spring, it gets really beautiful grass and it's nice and pretty and green. And then in the summer, everything dies and we have to clean it up so it's not a fire hazard. We have plans for what we're gonna do for it, but it's definitely a nice big job and a lot of work. So slowly but surely, we're kind of cracking away at it. And yeah, so a lot of you are curious because it seems like it's not really clear which part is our property, but the entire property is gated in, and then we have an inner portion of our backyard as well. So over here on this side of the property, it's just outside of our inner backyard. We have another garden bed, and my husband actually, it's cool. If you follow us on Instagram, you can kind of see like the daily adventures of our garden and our, I guess, little farm that we're building here. But he has this garden bed was here when we came, and he actually built this little contraption here because we have a lot of little critters trying to eat everything that we're growing. We're growing cucumbers, various squash. We also have some peppers, and he actually changed this from mesh. It was originally like a plastic to metal because the bunnies were eating through it. So yeah, he's doing a really good job of also providing shade for everything that we're growing. So far, we're doing pretty well. There's a few things that are thriving, and it's all just one big experiment when you're gardening. But so far, so good. So this is our little setup over here. We also have our compost over here. And this is where anything that's kind of rotting or going bad in terms of produce is put in here and reused to add nutrients to our soil. So yeah, that's what the compost is for. Come here, guys. So this was actually our first year experimenting with a pumpkin patch. It takes about 130 days for pumpkins to grow, so we started them in the summer. And we're hoping to have a little luck, although it does seem like the little critters and our dogs are very interested in the pumpkins. So we have a little growth here, but we actually grew 3 different varieties of pumpkins, or are trying to grow 3 different varieties. We have fairy tale pumpkins, giant pumpkins, and then jack-o'-lanterns. So we are gonna see come fall what actually grew. But yeah, it's all one big experiment, and we definitely wanted to have a pumpkin patch. And if we don't do it this year, we're gonna try again next year and hopefully have plenty of pumpkins for the kids and around the house. So inside the inner portion of our property, which is kind of like the official backyard where the kids play, we have our little grassy area and our big tree. And then over here, we're creating our herb and tea garden. And we're gonna kind of move the rocks and create pathways at some point, but it's just a little bit at a time. There's a little work every single day. So we have lots of different herbs we're growing. We have sage, we've got chamomile, we have thyme, we have basil, we have different varieties of mint, and we also have our citrus trees as well. So those are over here, and they're kind of growing, and they're doing well, and they're thriving, so we're happy about it. And then also in front of my studio, we have some flowers. We've got some gardenias, we have some more chamomile, a few other citrus trees. We just got this tractor, which Byron's definitely on more than I am. But we got this so that we could clean up the property, because obviously in the spring it grows and in the summer everything dies, and there's a lot of work to be done. We've been cleaning up a lot with it, and it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. I don't have the key, so I can't turn it on and ride it for you, but it's been a good time. Okay, so that's it for the outside of our property, which is definitely a big job in and of itself, but I'm gonna have to bring you inside soon. Not today, but I will do a house tour very soon. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.